guys, Jenny with On Fire Fit, and today I am going to show you one of the main breakfasts that I eat on most days of the week, although I do try to vary things. And I am going to show you my shortcuts to how I make it so that it is fast for me to get out the door, because that is probably one of the main things that I hear from people, especially when I'm talking to patients about eating healthy breakfast. They have a hard time because they don't have time in the morning, and so they resort to a croissant or a bagel or a piece of bread, or they go through Del Taco or something like that. And there are solutions to this. You just have to think about it and maybe do a little bit of planning, but you can do a bunch of planning in one day that will carry you through multiple days. You could actually do this for a month if you wanted to, but it will make it a whole lot simpler for you to have something nutritious to start off with. I don't eat very much carbs, especially in the morning, because I just tend to feel more sluggish. I know that everybody has a different way of balancing out their day and where they eat their carbs. Some people really believe that you should stack the carbs earlier in the day because that's your energy source, and there's no need to have carbs later in the day when you're about ready to go to bed. I notice that sometimes it makes me more sluggish to have carbs earlier in the day, and I'm talking about certain types of carbs too, because some don't seem to do that to me. Fruit doesn't seem to affect me like that, but if I were to have a big bowl of oatmeal, which I actually love, but if I have that in the morning, I tend to feel kind of slow and sluggish. So everybody is a little different in my opinion on that one, but I do think that if you try to have more protein in the morning, maybe a little bit of healthy fat, some fruit, things like that, it's a good idea. So I'm just going to show you my shake that I make, and you are more than welcome to use any kind of other protein powder. I just have the two that I'm going to show you, but there are different options for that and different things you can try. There's reasons why I picked the ones that I have, but certainly you could replace it with anything. And so let's take a look. Okay, so here is what I did to try to make my mornings a lot faster. I have taken all of these bags of various types of fruits and vegetables that I like to have in my shake, and I've divvied them up into a week's worth of baggies. And because I'm more on the frugal and don't like to throw things in the trash that will fill up the landfill, I will keep the empty Ziploc bags in the freezer until I'm ready to refill them. But once a week, I am filling these Ziplocs with a little bit of each of the things that I would normally put in my shake so that I don't have to pull each and every one of those out every single day. So I have, in this one, I have some mango, some frozen cranberries. This is a little block of spinach. I like this spinach in this kind of a bag because they come in these little balled up spinach balls. So it makes it really easy to separate out just a little bit at a time. These are some coconut chunks. I have a chunk of turmeric. So I had taken turmeric and peeled it and cut it into pieces, and I froze it along with my peeled and cut ginger in a different Ziploc here, as you can see. And so these are all frozen, and I added that into here. So there is a chunk of ginger in there. So, and I have a little chunk of frozen bananas. So these are all frozen things because I like how they create a good consistency with my drink in the morning. So all of these are frozen. Some of them are a little different. This one has some blueberries. This is for a day that I am not drinking while I'm driving. Laugh out loud. Not only for the drinking and driving, but also because everybody knows that the blueberries end up in your teeth. And so if I'm not at home, I don't really want to have blueberries in my teeth, but that'll be for a day that I'm at home. So that one is got a little bit of that. Oh, I forgot to mention that there is a little bit of beet chunks in there too. Let's see, I think the rest of these are pretty much the same. And so I've added, basically, here we go. I've got beet chunks. I got those at Trader Joe's. I have coconut chunks. I have mango. I have blueberries, spinach, and then these were my own. Oh, the cranberries, of course. This is a new bag that I haven't opened. And then I've got my chunks of ginger and turmeric. And then I'm also going to make the pouches of the supplement powders and things that I add to this as well. I also made the powder into baggies. So I'm going to dump one of the frozen bags of fruits and vegetables, and then I'll dump in the bag of powder. And the reason is I do use various powders, and it's just easier than opening each thing every time. I know it seems like not that big a deal, but you know, when you're in a rush, sometimes it matters. So, and then I'll just save each bag and refill it each week. But these items that I'm mentioning, you don't need to use all of these products or anything, and definitely Whole Foods is plenty and good enough. I like to use this as an alternative because I don't eat a lot of carbs like bread or oatmeal or cereal and things like that. And so sometimes having eggs for breakfast is kind of let's say, not enough spice in my life. So sometimes I do like to use products that have other ingredients, vitamins, and things like that. So I'll just quickly show you what I'm using currently. But like I said, don't feel like you have to have these in order to be healthy. But I put a little bit of my vanilla Shakeology. This is a full scoop. What I've been doing currently is doing half a scoop of this, and then this is Dr. Christensen Daily Reset, and I'm supposed to use 2 scoops of this. So what I've been doing is 1 scoop of that, half a scoop. So basically half a serving of that and half a serving of this. Then this is the collagen that I have right now. I also use the Green Can Great Lakes, but this is the one that I've got right now. I tried this one because it has 5 types of food source collagen, and so I like that it has some different ones in there, and it dissolves really well. You don't taste it. It has no flavor, but neither does the Great Lakes, so that one's great too. I always like to put cinnamon, not just because it tastes good, but it's really good for you, so it helps stabilize your blood sugars, and it's good for other health things, which we could get into. I do get this type of cinnamon. I think you say Ceylon, but it is safer for your body for metabolizing and everything. And then this is an organic one, you know, and it's fair trade and all of non-GMO, all that jazz. I buy that on Amazon. Then I have been putting this in. I don't know that it's necessary, but since I bought it at one point, I thought, well, I'm just going to use it up. But it is a plant-based superfood, and it's supposed to support energy and vitality. It has a little bit of a nutty flavor, and it's just one of those things that I'm not positive if I can tell a big difference, but you know, I figure it doesn't really harm me. So the baggies have a little bit of each of those so that when I want to go make my drink, I can just dump them in there with the liquid and the frozen, and then I'm ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to show you just putting it all together. And so the things that I've prepped ahead of time, I have the frozen fruit and vegetables, turmeric and ginger back here in a big Ziploc, and I have all the mini Ziplocs for each day inside of there. And then this is my dry stuff, the powders, and I put those in Ziplocs, and every time I'm done with one, I'll transfer the empty bag, and then when I'm at the end of that, I'll just replace them all with new powder that needs to go in there. And then today I am using coconut drink But you can use coconut milk, you can use flax milk, you can use rice milk, hemp milk, if you like milk, whatever kind of, that you normally would use. And then I am gonna add some apple cider vinegar. I absolutely love the tang of it, and there are a lot of health benefits to it as well. I am going to do my best to do this one-handed right now. So here we go. I'm just gonna add in I don't measure, I just kind of eyeball it, and I know the consistency I like. I like it to be a little thicker, almost like pudding, or what else would it be like? Maybe like a sorbet, but you can make it more thin where you can actually drink it, or you can make it so that it's something you eat with a spoon. It kind of depends on what you like. And I change that from day to day too. If I am on a drive and I have to drink it, I will make it a little thinner. And if I'm sitting at home doing Bible study and I want to eat it with a spoon, then I kind of feel like I'm having dessert for breakfast. Okay, so then I'm going to add in some of my apple cider vinegar. Sorry to jolt you around like that. I just kind of eyeball this. You do that to taste. That might be a little more than anybody else can handle because it's pretty strong, but I do like that flavor. Okay, let's see if I can handle this one-handed. Okay, so here is my bag of fruit and spinach, and I do try to rotate out what I eat in this. So I know a lot of people do the same thing every day, and I don't know, it just seems like the more that I research things, the more that variety is the name of the game, because when you get too much of one thing over and over and over again, there always seems to be some kind of problem that comes about with that. So I think it's really good if you can try to mix it up. Maybe you want to put a little kale in some days, spinach in some days, maybe even spring mix. You can put salad in there. I actually just remembered that I also have sprouts that I could add. I'm going to take you over here really quick. I grow broccoli sprouts or different kinds of sprouts all the time, and these are great to add to salads. They're really packed with nutrition. It's kind of cool because it's this whole system where the fish lives in there, and it's its own little ecosystem, so it feeds the nutrients to the sprouts, and then the sprouts kind of help keep the water clean. So anyway, that's going to be added in as well. I'm going to pour these in there. So I didn't have to open each bag, which I know seems like not a big deal, but when you're in a rush in the morning, it is a big deal. And then I'm going to add one of my bags of my powder, which has 1 scoop of protein powder of each of the ones that I showed you. And it has some cinnamon and it has some collagen. Sometimes I'll add bone broth too in a powder form. That gives it some more nutrition, but today I'm just doing this because frankly, I forgot about it, so it's okay. You kind of keep things mixed up, try not to do the same thing all the time, even in that area, in my opinion, because there could be potential problems they'll find out down the road, if you're overdosing on bone broth even. So, okay, so I'm gonna grind that up, and I'm gonna actually cut off some of my little sprouts and throw those in there too. You see the consistency there? Yeah, that is really thick, but that makes it kind of fun to eat. There we have it. That is my bowl of nummy goodness that I'll have this morning. And so, yeah, let me know what you have for breakfast, and if you have challenges with trying to have nutritious things to get out the door for yourself or your kids, whatever the case might be, and let's chat about it. Anyway, I hope that you have a wonderful day and go out and live that life on fire.